Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending our Industry Leaders Forum. I'm Alex, our co-founder of HKDAS. We are very honored to have four distinguished guests today on the stage, as our MC have just introduced to you. Last year, we have all witnessed a very big correction in the digital asset price. Starting from early last year, which was triggered by the hiking interest rates globally, and in the middle of the year, the collapse of the Lunar Terra ecosystem. And by the end of the year, the collapse of the crypto exchange, FTX. It was really a setback for the whole industry. But like Hanjin had just shared, in this time of the year, we can look at the bright side, because now developers and startups like you guys can focus really on the technology and the fundamental of the projects, and the product and the service as well, without being distracted by the speculative elements. And we're also really happy to hear from the Hong Kong government about the announcement of the policy statement last year, October last year, about the digital assets. So we are at an exciting moment for Hong Kong. I hope that's why we take this opportunity to discuss the opportunities in digital assets for startups in Hong Kong. Without any further ado, let me start by inviting our speakers to introduce their work, their company, and what they have done over the past few months. Duncan, can I start with you?
Okay, thank you, Alex. I think I've been given 3 minutes to have a wrap-up of last year. I think I may take a bit more than 3 minutes. So, you know, from my post, me and Robert, we're from the Legislative Council, representing different sectors. So I think for tech, definitely digital asset or crypto, virtual asset related is a hot topic last year and catch a lot of attention. I think to wrap up last year, I think I can take a turn of first half and second half. I had a very different field in the first half and with the second half of last year. As investors, I think before I joined Legco, I've been an investor for 20 years. So we look at a lot of projects globally, especially things related to blockchain, digital assets. I think we've been studying things like that in 2015, 16, with projects from different parts of the world. So I think last year, at the early first half of 2022, I've been very conservative. I think I met some people here that I was very against, having the crypto opening to retail investors and also to a broader market as a whole. I think maybe there's an investor instinct that a lot of projects are looked into. Financially or economically, I don't think it makes sense for me. So there's a lot of things in the DeFi and think that technology is happening, but the financial fundamentals are not there. So last year, I would say first half, I was very conservative, and even for the development of Metaverse and NFT as well. I think some of our members in Legco also mentioned about promoting Metaverse and NFT, right, in the meetings that we raised. And I actually set up a Zoom meeting last year due to the pandemic with a lot of the Legco members, sounding out my concern on Metaverse and NFT at that time. I don't quite think it makes sense for some NFT product to sell at that trading price at that time. And I think that one of the big turn is March 9 when Biden signed the executive order for the US government, various departments to look into digital assets and its impact on US economy. So for the first half, I think I was very concerned, and also at that time, I think virtual assets or crypto, namely, was its peak around $3 trillion market capitalization. Whereas at the same time, Hong Kong Stock Exchange, all the stock market, all the stocks included, the market capitalization was about $5 trillion with all these hard work from Hong Kong all these years. So I mean, it's just something doesn't come up correct. So I think what happened, you said, is a setback to the market. I think it's not a setback. It's something that is deemed to happen to crypto market and virtual assets. And I don't think company like FTX, where they are like the regulated themselves. They are like the market maker. They are the issue producer. They are also a platform for trading, and they are doing DD for themselves. Will work. So it really is something that was deemed to happen. So I was lucky. I think at the time I did sound out some concern to friends, at least I know. But I think it took a big turn in the second half of last year, and you know, when all these things happen, people are really looking into, you know, how the crypto market would develop. And I agree with a lot the government's approach. That I think the government in the announcement said digital assets is here to stay. I think this things everyone agree. Technology is developed, it wouldn't go reverse. It will only get better. But how do it work with the financial market and with existing policies and developing policies to make it better is something that the whole industry should work towards. So I'm very positive in the second half that, I mean, especially when the Hong Kong government come out and say, you know, there's something we should explore. We have all the financial talents in Hong Kong, regulations, people trust our systems. And if this thing is here to stay, Hong Kong is the best place to regulate it and actually give people faith into the virtual assets and also crypto market. And you know, when you have trust, then you will have people willing to invest. I think that's the thing that we have to do in the next stage. So in the second half, I think we talk about bills like the AML, which involve the Virtual Asset Service Provider Bill, and we have consultation on crowdfunding sort of related, and then the stablecoin was just announced, and I'm also urging the government to look into the STO regulations. And I think with the background and support from the Hong Kong government, you know, we are entering the second stage of the virtual assets and digital asset market, where I think Hong Kong is one of the best places in the world to be providing a regulated development for virtual assets. Sorry, it took a lot longer.
Thank you. As we have talked about the policy statement from the Hong Kong government, Duncan, I would like to hear your view about what opportunities are there going forward for the startup in Hong Kong here.
I think opportunity-wise is definitely huge. Web3, I wouldn't say just, please don't just focus on crypto, right? I think we were talking about Web3, the whole thing is, you know, backed by blockchain as a technology, as a new fundamental language to build. So Web3 alone, I would say, is like 20 years ago when we look at internet. So there's a lot more we have to explore. There are many applications, there are many things we can develop out of it. So technology-wise is at the very beginning stage. Blockchain, I think, has been here for a few years, and people are still looking at ways to leverage blockchain. But all these things, you know, NFT, metaverse, crypto, or centralized product like CBDC that we're talking about are all based on blockchain. So there's going to be a lot more development. We cannot imagine what 20 years later would be like. So we need teams like the young teams we have today to actually base in Hong Kong and think about, you know, what we can do with these tools. And we have good financial backgrounds. We have people that actually understand how to match it with professional development. I think we just have done the another amendment in the copyright bill about the you know, the copyright changes that will also regulate some of the internet content. So you can see that, you know, in the internet world, you know, we are so used to doing all the things in the online, but the regulations came 20 years later. So I mean, on development of technology, regulations is always behind. So we have to play catch-up work. But regulation will also in some way enhance the development of a certain technology. So I think that's one thing I have good faith in Hong Kong, that we are not playing a very delayed catch-up work on the regulation side. And you know, when we embrace the Web3 development in Hong Kong, we're catching up then also on the regulation side that, you know, prior to the FTX event, faith and trust in the system is the most important thing. So I think with the Web3 we have a lot more to develop. It just somehow happened, just so happened that blockchain and token somehow come hand in hand. So that is really more complicated comparing to the previous World Wide Web development. where token is a lot of the time being used as a payment transaction, payment means, or purchasing of services. So that also related to a lot of the retail benefit or general public benefit. So that actually will need some background or regulations to sort of regulate it for that to develop healthily. And so I think I have good faith in it. As I said, I think it's also the next 2.0, 3.0 development for Hong Kong financial market, because we have always been the world's global financial management center, wealth management center. People have trust in us. The legal system is here, professional is here, talent is here. We just have to embrace Web3 and see what we can do. So I think, yeah, I generally very positive.